Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for clicking on this video to learn more about the BBI report. Let us get some information out of the way before we dive in. Some of the information in this video will be tied to the last video, so if you get a little lost along the way, check out the video in the description below titled BBI proposes to put responsibilities on citizens. Also, this video contains timestamps in the description below. You can jump to the parts that you feel are more relevant to you. Without further ado, let's get into the main content. The creators of the BBI report realized that we live in a digital age, and this prompted an amendment to Chapter 4 of the 2010 Constitution. They did this to protect and make Kenyans' personal data safe from infringement. Chapter 4 of the Constitution is about the Bill of Rights. It contains 40 articles. In this video, we will get an aerial view of the whole chapter. If you would like us to go over the whole chapter, tell us in the comments below. Special attention will be paid to Article 24 to give reference to the previous video, and Article 31, which has been amended to enhance privacy. Chapter 4 of the 2010 Constitution generally talks about human rights and dignity accorded to residents of Kenya. Freedom to residents and the media, limitations to these rights and freedoms, and it gives details on how, why, and time period a state of emergency can be declared. Let's go to Article 24 of the 2010 Constitution, which gives reasons for limiting freedoms and fundamental rights. Article 24 is given the name Limitation of Rights and Fundamental Freedoms. Sub-Article 1 makes it clear that a right or freedom in the Bill of Rights shall not be limited except by law to the extent in which it is justifiable and reasonable based on human dignity, equality, and freedom. This limitation takes into account relevant factors such as A. The nature of the right or fundamental freedom. B. The importance of the purpose of the limitation. C. The nature and extent of the limitation. D. The need to ensure that the enjoyment of rights and fundamental freedoms by any individual does not prejudice the rights and fundamental freedoms of others. And D. The relation between the limitation and its purpose, and whether there are less restrictive means to achieve the purpose. Sub-Article 2 places offense around Sub-Article 1 to avoid its misuse. It does so by first invalidating any legislation enacted or amended on or after 7th April 2010, unless the legislation expresses the intention to limit that right or fundamental freedom and the nature and extent of the limitation. Secondly, no right or fundamental freedom shall be limited unless the provision in Sub-Article 1 is clear and specific about the right or freedom to be limited and the nature and extent of the limitation. Lastly, no right or fundamental freedom shall be extremely limited as to derogate it from its essential content. Sub-Article 3 requires a state or a person seeking to justify a particular limitation to demonstrate to the court, tribunal, or other authority that the requirements of Article 24 have been met. Sub-Article 4 limits Article 27 that talks about equality and freedom from discrimination on matters relating to personal status, marriage, divorce, and inheritance for persons in the Muslim religion appearing in Qadhi's court under Muslim law. Sub-Article 5 allows limitation of rights and fundamental freedoms by legislation to persons serving in the Kenyan Defense Forces or the National Police. Alright, let's now go to Article 31. It is about privacy and gives every person the right to privacy. It contains 4 paragraphs which explicitly protect this right to privacy. Paragraph A gives every person, home, or property belonging to a citizen the right not to be searched. Paragraph B gives every person the right not to have their possessions seized. Paragraph C gives every person not to have information related to their family or private affairs unnecessarily required or revealed. Paragraph D gives every person the right of privacy of their communications not to be infringed. The BBI report adds paragraph A, which gives the right to every person not to have their personal data infringed. Remember to like and subscribe to avoid missing out on any of our future videos.